Hey guys, this is KillRob speaking, and in today's little dev update we are going to take a look at the latest and bestest changes to the Unreal version of automation. And we are moving closer to an open beta release of it. And no, this version you cannot play just yet. I get this question all the time. It's kind of annoying, but I can understand where it's coming from. So, yes, this is the dev-only version I'm showing here. But you are all wondering, when is it? When is it? Well, I can now give you a preliminary date, at least. So it's no longer, well, in a few months, or since last episode, a few weeks, but rather we aim for the 26th of May. So that is in exactly 3 weeks time. And yes, I think that is very reasonable considering what we have on the to-do list right now. There's a lot of more polishing to do, but mostly these are smaller things. And we have come pretty far in this last week when it comes to polishing, and a lot of things are falling into place, so yeah, looking good so far. But let's go through a few things, and the first one is right here on the screen. Look at how intuitive this is. You just switch around the languages. Not all strings are translated, but good news, as you can see, even if I select German, it still says new campaign and light campaign and load here, and that is because these strings are actually missing, but instead of displaying some weird missing string blah 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 new campaign with lots of underscores and weird signs in it, it now just takes the English string. So at least you have a chance of understanding it then, if you are a German who is really bad at understanding these complicated things like light campaign. And yes, is this about sodas that have light, like zero sugar or something? No, it isn't, fellow Germans, it isn't. And yes, let's take a look at something else here. The settings menu are still very preliminary in that sense. The layout is horrendous, as you can see, it's huge and stuff, but we have started looking at even that, and because so many people were wondering, I wanted to quickly show you that. Yes, you can select whatever units you like. And this is still our preliminary selection of cars, which will be the only cars that are available in the first version. Then we will add all the other cars, like 300 something, which already were in the old version of automation, like step by step. As soon as we have figured out what all the things are that need to be changed on each body, then we shall add more than these, what was it, 18, yes, exactly. Yeah, let's just select a body, which, yeah, let's select this little one here. This one is pretty good. Right, this brings me to the point, as you can see, the lighting has changed in here. It is not optimal right now, it is not how we want it, and currently it's a little dark. Previously it was just bright as the sun, and that was pretty bad too. As you can see, it's not completely overblown anymore, but it is quite the correct brightness on the top, but now the sides can be getting a little dark. And you see more reflexes, like reflections, not reflexes, reflections here in the top and so on. So it's overall nicer, nicer looking. And the color swatches down here have been improved as well for the chrome one. You can see the whole room. Yeah, that's this one we're in. So that's pretty cool. There are just a few more little improvements to be made to this room to add a little bit more life to it. Like yesterday we talked about adding a few windows here, like in the engine designer room, just to have some natural light coming in here. Another thing here is we have now added the more high poly versions of the wheels. They look a lot better in that stage. I think we have the old ones here, in here still. That would be here, so let's see if we find the old version of this one. Is it this? Oh yes, yeah, look at the difference. This is the model that was in old automation, I think. And this is the new one. So that's quite the change there. Right, fixtures. Alright, let's take a look at fixtures. Some of these fixtures are now properly working, others are still not and have to be worked on, but it is a matter of, well, the fixtures need work and not it's fundamentally broken. Like this simple one, for instance, is pretty much fixed up. I don't know about these things in here. It looked kind of strange, but as you can see, it now naturally takes the color of the car. Also, you can resize it and whatnot over various seams and stuff. It still works, so that's all pretty nice. And now I'm just placing this one down and give us a little bit of a grill so that we can see the engine come in as soon as it does. Why not choose this one? And as you can see, yep, it snaps to the middle, and then you have free movement around. Can make it larger, and this is a grill which just just opens up the whole car. Ah, yeah, this looks like a really pretty car, doesn't it? And let's just for good measure put a door handle on here so that you see other fixtures are working too, even though they are looking quite funny right now with the various colors on there. So there we go. And these are the windows up here I was talking about for the car room. That's quite nice. And also, what is really cool, which hasn't made it in here yet, just as the changes to the lighting in the car room. They were made yesterday, but somehow they didn't make it into this version I'm currently showing to you, is you can see the car over there. So we just removed the stuff in here to make a corridor so that you can see it better. Like here you're building the engine, and there over there you see the car. That's pretty nice. Just some little touches here and there, which I think improve immersion. As also like this light coming in makes the engine room look really nice, the dyno room, and that's kind of missing in the room over there. And just because people have been always saying like, "Ah, where are my inline fives?" Well, they are not coming this time around, like I stated multiple times. But I at least can show you the inline fives because, well, the assets are more or less done. Let's not put a massive one in there. Tiny car, poor little tiny car. Let's make it a 1.5 liter inline five. Ah, and look how pretty! They even have their proper headers already. The weirdly asymmetrical ones, yes. It's a little easier if you just have 5 pipes going straight in there. With a little bit of bends here and there. Oh yeah, it's looking quite neat. So yeah, they are working. They are all working. And no, I can't play the sounds for you because they don't exist. And that's what we are waiting for before implementing them. That's the main thing missing. But as you can see, all calculations are working and so on. So that's all good. And now I shall change back to an inline 4 of the same thing. And isn't this beautiful? Just how quick that was. Bam, inline 4, done. Calculations done. No weird item switching. It just goes so fast in the Unreal version. That would probably have taken like 3 or 4 seconds in the current public build of the game. One thing you still see is missing though, which we still need to work out, is the exhausts. Even though I've selected exhausts, you don't see them here yet. And that needs to be implemented as well before we release it to you. But alright, now that we have built our little engine for our car, let's move ahead. Oh, such an abomination. And yes, let's take a look here. There's the engine. Proper mid-engine for the front-wheel drive car. And now, plop. There it is. There it is. We can now see it. Now we have gotten the advanced automatic in here, as well as a new option. And that is kind of a locking type automatic, a more modern one, so that you don't have the slush box losses in there for just normal cruising. And the other options you already know about, and now that they are all written out, you can see nothing is missing from here. And tire resizing also works, and we give it even larger rams. And now we come to what I was making, what I was choosing these rims for, and that is the brake pistons now are modeled. If we take a look here, oh, that's a nice view. I didn't get it that well in my preparation for this one. So yeah, you now see some difference here at least. 4 pistons and 6 pistons. So no longer does it all look like the same shitty 1 piston one. Here for the under tray, there is just a tiny little change to the game mechanics or balance. The downforce slider remains deactivated unless you select the downforce setting where you have adjustable pieces to the under tray. This design is the only one which really allows the engineers to tune the downforce you get for it. The fully clad one is mostly just reducing drag, and so is the semi-clad, but with much less coverage. And of course the off-road skid tray has nothing to do with downforce whatsoever. So yeah, it's really just this one which should have that option. The cooling airflow slider now works, but needs more information put in here, what you're actually selecting, like how much cooling you will be getting. It needs to go into the tooltip here as well, like some stat of how much kilojoules per second this equates to. And here we have some written out options as well, so now different types of power steering, as you can see here. And they have various advantages and disadvantages. They still need to be worked out stats-wise, of course. These are very preliminary in here, as they are very new added to the game. That, yeah, is basically the old stuff, I would say. But selecting launch control automatically selects everything else. And that is very realistic in that sense, because you need kind of everything else in order to have this one work. You need all the electronics that also are required from electronic stability. So you just as well can have electronic stability if you have all the electronics needed for that. That's basically coming for free then. I think this flows a lot better than the list box selection, and considering that it is more realistic than the list box selection, where you could have anti-lock braking system and launch control, but could skip out on traction control and electronic stability, that didn't make any sense whatsoever. There it is, it calculates beautifully, and we have the bump graph over here with speed. Speed and force, no, that's not what is supposed to be on the axis. This is centimeters of height of bump, of suspension movement and tire movement. And then we have milliseconds down here. So yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Also, let's take a quick look here. Ride height, still working. Whoop. Let's make a little buggy out of this one. Oh, maybe not quite. Like this. Okay. And here we have all the stats. Still some stuff going awry in here, which is not optimal. And now that the car is complete, I shall save it, exit out, and reload it, because there's a little bug in here. But I need to show you that, which only works with a loaded car. There we go. Okay, it has loaded in. And now let's go back to the engine designer. Yes, the engine designer. What am I going to do here now? Well, that's the new feature I wanted to show you. Show car stats. Okay, so now I need to tell you there is a little bug in here, which is like these calculations will be one step behind. So bear with me. So if we now choose to basically rebuild this engine as an inline 3, I shall just do like this, select inline 3, nothing changes because it's lagging behind one step, which will be fixed. But now I change something minor here, and then you can see all the car stats change, and this is what I should have seen from the start, right? So that's it. You can change, you can see how your engine choices affect the car. It was getting lighter, we have better fuel economy in the car, and so on and so forth. It's cheaper, and yeah, it's all really cool, isn't it? So back to the old engine there. But also, you could see drivability drop, even though we made the engine smaller. What's that about? Well, it was just a lack of power in that sense. This was too little for this this year to be actually considered drivable. Another little change that will be coming to this side panel is just a column of units. So we remove all units from the values itself so that they become more readable. And then we have a little icon-sized units right behind, depending on what you chose, so that you can more easily scan this list as well as see what kind of unit that is in. Because as you can see, this is kind of terrible. Alright, I think that was a pretty comprehensive look at where we are at currently, and as you can see, things are falling in their places. There's still a lot of polish here and there to do, and of course I'm only showing you the stuff which actually works. I could also spend some time just showing you what all not works, but that's not fun to look at. Another thing I quickly wanted to mention before wrapping up here is that you can see the language selection here, which means that now the translations are in the game, and well, just read from a single file basically. And that means that we soon will be able, with our new platform, previously we did all the translations in spreadsheets where we invited people to help us out with the translations for the various languages, and we will be going to a proper translation service where people can join in and help us make a crowdsourced translation of their language. And probably we are going to use Crowdin for that. It seems to be a really powerful platform that is pretty popular and used by big companies too. And we would of course greatly appreciate if you could join in and help once that is up. Of course I would be making a video specifically about that and how you can join. But yeah, that should be good news to all non-English players here that do need better translations for the game to really be enjoyable. Anyway, I think that's it. So just to reiterate, the release date we aim for is the 26th of May, and that is the open beta. That is the open beta. That means it is opt-in only. That means that your game will not update automatically unless you're opted into the open beta. I will then make another video explaining again how you do that, how you opt into the open beta and so on. So that's all good, don't worry, there will be more information coming. But yeah, that's our target date, maybe a few days off here and there, but now, the talk is no longer about months, weeks, but now it's down to days about the accuracy. Okay, that's all. I hope you enjoyed and see you guys next time.